Hello and welcome back to another episode of Canadian Stacker. Today I'm coming from you from our takeout spot. We got a group on the river today, a bunch of young guys from the U.S. They're from all over the U.S., Chicago. We got a couple from there, got a couple from Milwaukee, a couple from California. They all flew in to be friends and, go down on a canoe trip, and now they're on the final leg of their trip. They're coming here to enjoy the Ottawa River and what it has to offer. So today I wanted to let you guys all know that I bit the bullet. I think I've already said it before, but I got the Magnificent Maple coming now. I'm going to do a reveal video when they finally show up. Should be here maybe end of this week, Friday or next week. Just depends on how fast Saul pops it in the mail and gets it on its way. I'm really looking forward to actually holding one physically in my hand. And I'm thinking my next major purchase, I'm probably going to do a kilo bar, maybe a 500 gram Herc bar. I don't know. I'm going to talk to Saul, and I don't know, whatever's the better priced bar, I'm probably going to wind up going with either two 500 Hercs or one bigger 1 kilo RMC bar maybe, or something. I don't know. But today I wanted to talk on a subject of a couple things. One of them being, France. Basically, I said in the channel there over a month ago that France was courting joining the Brics. And now, I guess as of a couple days ago there, Macron came out, the president of France, and said he wanted an invite to go to the Brics to officially apply. He basically said that he had asked South Africa to take him, and the South African leader, the prime minister there, president, said he was completely unaware of the request. But now what I said might happen is looking like it's going to happen. France is now shifting away and moving into the Brics. They see the writing on the wall, and that physical materials are going to be needed. And this is a super cycle that we're in now. Not only is it the 7-year Shemitah, it's also, the 50-year and the bigger picture, which Ray Dalio talked about in one of his, the every 200 and something. I can't remember the one he talked about, but there's a great video for you to look up on YouTube called The Changing Order. I strongly recommend you look at it. It talks about the changing order through times, how the Dutch were in charge and how the French were in charge, the British, now the Americans, and of course we're switching slowly over to the East, where China is expected to take power. However, I think we're going to get a big shocker in this whole thing. China's an aged population. They have literally crapped all over their little girls. And I think you're going to see India probably pulling out on top. And why do I see that? There's a couple reasons. Reason number one, nobody likes to deal with a totalitarian state. And, that's what China is. And other people, they prefer to deal with a more democratic. And what's the largest democracy in the world right now? Well, India, right? They are larger in population than China. Sure, China makes everything, but it's not hard to slowly switch over to the younger population in India, get them manufacturing, selling, to the West or to whatever they're going to sell to, and they're a Brics member, and I can see literally India surprising us all. I'm just a guy here talking. I don't know anything, but if I was a betting man, and China's literally stripped its country of pretty much all of its resources. They've got horrible water. Their air quality is garbage. Their population is heavily leaned towards male population because of, the party's influence on reproduction in their country. And India, well, they're pedal to the metal and pop babies out left and right? And their population curve is only planking and going up. So I see India being the economic powerhouse in the near future. Well, let's say 15 years. I see them overtaking China. Hopefully we avoid a conflict, because China and India don't overly get along. That's why when everybody says, oh, look out for the Brics, I just keep going. Well, India and China don't overly like each other. So, but, Sun Tzu, the art of war, my enemy is my friend, or whatever the heck that is. So who knows? Maybe that'll wind up happening. Another thing I wanted to talk about is what was released from a couple of YouTube channels I've seen. I've looked up on it and I found confirmation that this is a thing, that there is a genetically engineered disease that can literally affect pretty much nothing but us Anglo-Saxons, so basically it would target Anglo-Saxon genetic bloodlines with a very high mortality rate. That would be the majority of Canada, the United States, England, and every colonized party, and anyone who's interbred over that time. But it would largely leave most of Europe alone, Russia, China, all that. So that's something for you guys to look up on your own. I would strongly recommend that you do. Don't take my word for it. I'm just a YouTuber. Nothing here is advice. It's just some information that I read and some information that I heard, and I wanted to pass it along. And one more piece and one more food of thought. Now, none of this has been in my drinking supply for probably 20 years. I completely got away from that, but fluoride. It's very bad for your health. Economic Ninja, I was watching his channel. He did a big video on it. I'm going to give props where props is due. So, everybody that's here that knows the Ninja, make sure that you put in, that Canadian Stacker, he put a thumbs up for the video. He put out a big video on basically fluoride and what it does to you and all the fluoride poisoning that can happen. Now, in the province of Quebec where I live, fluoride has not been put in the water drinking system for over 20 years. The French government here removed fluoride from the drinking water a long time ago. I think it's still partially fluorinated because of the mayors in the larger cities like Montreal, Quebec City, Sherbrooke, Chicoutimi, but the small towns, like Maniwaki, Amos, Abitibi, Shawville, the smaller towns, none of them put fluoride in their water. And when you go to the dentist, they want to give you that fluoride treatment. They got to keep that poisoning in you, to keep your teeth, doing its thing. Don't recommend calcium. Heaven forbid you recommend drinking milk like they did in the 80s and the 70s. I remember when I was a kid in the 80s, they came out with fluoride treatment for the whole school system. Everybody, bite on and let's protect your teeth, and you could pick your flavor. You could have strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, banana, chocolate. Anybody remember all those disgusting flavors that are a person in my channel? Leave a comment, or put if you don't want to type anything in about it, put in, like Ninja says, put in a number 1. Let me know that you know exactly what I'm talking about, And that fluoride is no longer given out in schools in Quebec. I have no idea about Ontario, but in Quebec, it's not something that's done where I live anyways, so my children have never had that. And don't get me wrong, I do believe that brushing your teeth and looking after your oral care is incredibly important, and I strongly recommend going and visiting a dentist because, well, dental care is good care. But, do your own research, read up on what's good for you, and remember, just because the government said it's good for you, maybe not necessarily that it is, because, well, we are going to get into another one of my topics of choice, the topic of home defense. Now, I can't talk about what is involved in home defense because I live in Canada, and, here we have a very large hunting community. I live in probably the second most heavily ownershiped province in the country, the province of Quebec. The only one I think of per person that might have more would be the great province of Alberta. If you're here from Alberta, let me know. Just understand that you got at least one Quebecer and his family that's completely supportive of Alberta and Alberta's industries, and I firmly believe that the government's giving you guys a bum raw deal, and I think the Quebec government is giving you guys a bum raw deal. So I am constantly telling my politicians here, we got to work with Alberta. We got to get that energy out of the ground. We got to make Canada independent of all energy sources. So just understand, you've got Quebecers that are on your side. Where I live, we are a 60-40 Anglo-French community, so 60% French, 40% Anglo. Everybody is almost bilingual. I'd say 90+% are bilingual, so it's a pretty cool community to be in. I live in the area that used to be part of Lower Canada that got given over to Quebec after, all the wars that wound up happening on Champlain, and part of this area was gifted to Quebec, during the signing, and basically this used to be an Anglo part of Canada. Now they've put it into Quebec, but it's a wonderful, beautiful, rich area with a wonderful history. And, you know, it's just amazing. But back to the topics at hand. So like I said, we got China, you know, like basically trying to run the shots, threatening to dump $852 billion of treasuries, which, yeah, it's a big threat. It would really hurt the American government's ability to issue out the new bonds that they're trying to put out through Janet Yellen. If you actually watched Janet, she talked about how well, no, she didn't. She was asked, how would you protect the United States from, you know, the China, you know, debt dropping all of the bonds that China holds, all of the currency, and she said there's a plan in place, and they're looking into it, but you could see in her face that if that happened, we'd be totally screwed. But remember, at this moment in time, China would affect us, I believe, more with a debt dump than we would affect them. Now, if we rewind time before 2008, I think China, if they tried to debt dump, it would not be good. I actually think until about 2015, 2016, it would have been worse for China. But you know, China's real estate's imploded. It's tanking. It's spreading around China. It's getting into the you know, the east there, and it's really starting to take root. It's slowing down China's GDP growth. They say they have a positive growth of, like, I can't remember what they said, like 1% or something, which is horrible for them. But remember, they just got out of their COVID lockdowns, like literally 6 months ago or whatever it is. So their economy hasn't had time to do much of anything. So, but yeah, so into some silver and gold information here. You know, you know, you guys are obviously here for that. You know. Well, silver's been pretty much, you know, flat. It had that little bit of a dump after the Fed announcement. I had the bump and then the dump. I bought in the dip there, you know, and I strongly recommend that you do. Me, what am I doing at this moment? I'm trying to raise my gold ownership. I don't have enough gold. You know, like, everybody has a target of how many ounces of silver to how many ounces of gold. And myself, my target's always been 70 to 1. Right now, I'm running at about 83 or 84 to 1, so I'm a little bit low on the gold ownership. And now with this purchase with Saul, I'm short probably 3/4, maybe 1 full ounce of gold. I got to go do some math, but I'm thinking I need to up my ante on gold. And Saul has these 10 gram bars from the Swiss Mint. I'm thinking about picking up 1 or 2 of those just to try to bring my numbers up. You know, coming up with $3,000 to buy an ounce coin, I think it's kind of out of the equation. But I was looking, and he's under $89 a gram when you buy it in the 10 gram format. Spot, when I looked last, was around 85, so there's like a $4 spread. So if I were to buy 2 of those, I would be paying 80 over spot price for 20 grams. So you know, it'd be 125, I think, or something like that over spot for a full 30, which would be close to an ounce. It's a pretty high premium, but it's nothing compared to 1/4 ounce or 5 gram or 0.25 or even 1 gram bars. You know, like 1 grammers are $102, I think, is the cheapest one I can find, and 2 grammers were what, $99.35. So, you know, like, if I can get a 10 grammer for what was it there, 899 something or 898, that sounds like the move for me. So I'm thinking that's the route I'm going to go. If I decide to get some gold, I might shoot that and go get that there. I'm thinking soon, you know, before the middle of July, probably the end of June, I'm probably going to get at least 10, maybe 20 grams of gold. So I need to up my gold ownership. I'm not saying that that's for everyone. You know, like, people, you know, can't just go out and, you know, dump $800 or $1,600 on some metal in one shot. But you know, if you're looking, I would suggest that you try to do purchases larger than 1/4 ounces. You know, halves would be as small as I would go, or that 10 gram, because it's a nice looking bar, and, you know, I like the way it looks. I did also try to talk to Saul about the Germanian mints poured bars. Now, he doesn't have any of those in stock. He's assured me that the weight on those is ridiculous. Like, he said 18 months to 2 years to get a Germanian poured bar if he ordered them. I did talk to him about some maples. He has some maples coming in. He ordered them, though, for clients that have already pre-ordered the maples. So if you want some maples, you're going to have to, you know, put comments in the box here, or email Saul, and or be in, you know, like, his Facebook and let him know that you want maples, because they're not on his ordering catalog. And to be honest, I'd like Saul to start carrying, you know, 100 ounces worth of maples, just to have them sitting there if any of us want to, you know, pick some up, because maples are a beautiful coin. And, you know, like, they're $37 an ounce, 37 and a half, somewhere in there, and your 1 ounce rounds are 36. So for $1.25, I think a national coin like would be a much better idea. Even if you can't get those, Philharmonics would be another nice one, because once again, it's national. I'm just completely 100% avoiding eagles. The premiums are just insane. Who the heck can afford the monstrous premiums on an eagle? You know, when you're down in the U.S., which 60% of my subscribers are from the U.S., 65%, and I am very appreciative of having my American crew. I just want you to all know that. It's a shout out to you. But if I was in America and I was stacking, now you guys have a certain threshold that you have to wait in order to sell basically non-governmentally minted coinage, like your sunshine rounds and your Silvertown bars and anything that doesn't have a face value on it and isn't a recognized bar. So if you wanted to dump out at like a location and, you know, pull some liquidity back into your hands right away, you couldn't wait to find a buyer to give you a better price, and you were going to go, you know, like a couple bucks or $2 over spot, and you didn't want to wait, you're going to need governmental coinage. And that doesn't matter, I don't think, what country it's from. If somebody in the comments thinks that I'm wrong, please correct me. I'll find the comment and I will tag it up at the top if anything I say is incorrect. But I know that I'm pretty sure U.S. junk silver, Canadian junk silver, Eagles, Canadian maples, I think that those are some of the things that you can just sell right away. You don't have to wait for approval or something, and they don't have to hold it. There's a holding period, I don't remember what it is, and you get less of a premium, you know, paid to you from the coin shop when you go to sell it. So if there's anybody in here, maybe Chris, if you're watching this video, bud, I do know you watch me from time to time. If I'm wrong, pop it in there, let me know, make a video on it, tag me in it, you know, let me know where my mistake is. I own up all my mistakes, because I'm not perfect, but you know, I do like to be educated, and if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments, and I will happily tag anything to the top of the comment box. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've got for you today. Yesterday was Father's Day. It was kind of an important day for me and my kids. You know, we only had one rafter yesterday. It was a pretty quick day, but you know, after doing back-to-back trips, I get tired, so I kind of wimped out on the video, and I only gave you guys like a 2-minute video. But I had a great night's sleep last night, so I figured I would immediately, when I got stopped for after lunch, that I'd record this. So this is on Monday, the day after Father's Day there, and I think it's around 2:30 in the afternoon on this beautiful day in La Belle Province, with Ontario directly on the other side overlooking the Ottawa River, you know. And this is a Canadian Stacker, and like always, you know, keep your thumb to the sky, keep on stacking, and I hope your day is awesome, and have a good one.